So for the people that aren't familiar with who you may be, can you give a little backstory?
Yeah, I'm Aaron Moses. I'm a young city boy from Newark, New Jersey. Um, I am a part of a movement, a collective right now called Maverick City. And yeah, I can tell a whole lot of my story, whatever you
Yeah,
want to.
absolutely. I want to hear all of it, man. I want to hear all the
Yeah,
story, the whole story.
I mean, I grew up in back and forth between Newark, New Jersey, and Belleville, New Jersey, which are pretty much neighbors.
Okay.
Um,
You still in
uh,
Jersey now?
no, I live in Columbus, Georgia right now. I'm out of
Okay.
Georgia. But grew up. I left Jersey as soon as I graduated high school. Um, grew up in a church all my life. Went to an Assemblies of God church my whole life. Um, Old school Spanish. You know, so grateful for how I was raised for sure. Um, I was taught um, discipline and all the good stuff that comes with
Sure.
being raised in church and
Sure.
um, all growing up, it was spoken to me that I would, travel the world and, write music that would reach the nations, all that. And I was just a drummer at the time growing up.
Oh, okay.
I started playing drums at the age of 2. I always loved music, which was definitely foreign to my family because my family is not really like a musical family. And but yeah, I just always had this fascination with music and um, high school pretty much really started developing uh, my giftings when it came to like singing and playing keys. And when I graduated high school, I had the opportunity of uh, traveling with this man named Eddie James. He had a ministry that pretty much he would travel the world and just lead worship and write songs and produce music and all that. And I traveled with him for about 3.5 years.
Oh, cool.
It was a pretty extensive group of us. Dante was a part of that group as well. And I transitioned out of his ministry about maybe 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And when I transitioned out, maybe a couple months after transitioning out, Dante invited me to a write. It was a songwriting session.
Hmm.
That wasn't known. It wasn't known as Maverick at the time. It was just a community of us trying to write and just get together and worship together, write together, make music together, and uh, God just began to blow on the things we were writing, the things we were producing, and here we are now. 2.5 years later, and Maverick is one of the quickest growing communities in
Absolutely, man.
the
You
industry.
can't go far in the worship music genre without hearing Maverick City. So
It's
it's
crazy.
amazing.
I mean, we never intended for that. Like we
And then
really,
sorry, I'm sorry, but then 2 weeks ago, the surprise album with Elevation Worship comes out. I'm like, yo, that's wild, man.
yeah, that
So-
album. I mean, all that's happening now, we never intended. I mean, Justin Bieber, Diddy.
yeah,
I mean, you have boxers and athletes and people that are like just
yeah.
you know just enamored by what God is doing with it, and
Mm.
it blows us away because it's only been 2 years. There's
Hmm.
people in the industry that have been doing it their whole lives and have yet to you know reach those kind of people, and it's just what God is doing is crazy.
How long have you been in the industry for?
Um, when I traveled with Eddie, he was honestly a little detached from the industry, so we didn't do much in the industry. I've been leading worship, you know, man, I would say since I was like 16 years old, so
Okay,
at least 11 years.
okay.
But as far as the industry goes, really, really Maverick was like a real introduction to like the industry. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um,
Interesting. Because I was gonna say, like, so even in those 2 years, there's been some grinding and stuff, So like some of the things that deter, I think, the most musicians is the years of grinding it out, and the years of putting in the work when nobody you writing the songs when nobody's hearing the songs,
yeah, yeah.
go play in these shows or worship sessions and nobody's coming and
And even for like parents that are watching this that have
mm,
musically inclined children, like give them room.
sure,
You have no
absolutely,
idea. You have no idea who you have in your household.
it's
That
so
7 year
important.
old that's in your living room that is tearing everything. That was me. I tore up every pan and play in the house. I used to, man, I remember this, man. As a kid, I would sit on, I had this little baby red bench. I would sit it on the bed, and all my, every textbook I could find in my house, I would pile them up and get pens. And then I had these two human-sized Teletubbies, and I would set them up on the bed, one on my left and one on my right, and I would set them to watch me while I'm playing drums. That would be my show. Like, seriously.
It's so true, man.